Okay, in this activity, we're going to be going from one screen, playing something, and then going to the next screen. This should help you with your ghost hunting game that you've got going on. You can see I've got a fish that's just moving around in random position when the flag is pushed. I have a sprite that says press the space key that has no coding. And I have a background that says when the flag is pushed, play this sound effect bubbles. So, probably going to have the bubbles play through the whole thing, which isn't what your code is, I think, for the ghost hunting game. But anyway, the first thing that we need to do is we need to have something happen whenever we push the space button. So right here, we're going to have on the push the space button an event called when the space button is pushed. Okay? So we need something to happen when the space button is pushed. What's supposed to happen for this wording is actually it is supposed to hide. It's going to go away when we push the space button, which means then we need when the flag is pushed, we need a show. Let's pull that out right there. So let's test it now. Stop, play, push the space button, it goes away. Stop, flag, it's back. So that's good. All right. Now let's go to the fish. When the flag is pushed, go to random position. So we're going to need to say that when the space button is pushed, and this doesn't need to be forever. If you put a forever in there, it's going to happen the whole time the game's going on. All that needs to happen is first, he needs to hide, and then he needs to stop all other scripts on this sprite, just this sprite. Now, if you do stop all, it's going to stop everything. Nothing's going to work. So you don't want to ever do that unless it's the end of the game. And so you always want it to be this. Stop other scripts on sprite. Okay, stop. Test it. Push the space button. Everything's gone. Stop. Push the flag. Hey, my fish didn't show up. That's because we need to put a show right in here. When the flag button is pushed, show. Let's test it again. There's my fish. Push the space button, he's gone. And there's my fish. Okay, the coding for the fish is done. Now let's go to the backdrop. The space button is pushed. We need to go to a different backdrop. So let's search for a bit different backdrop. I'm actually going to pull one up. I'm going to insert a backdrop called Meanwhile. We're going to add SpongeBob to this thing. So, coding, space button is pushed. We're going to switch backdrops, that's under look, to this meanwhile. And then we need to put right in here that when the flag is pushed, switch to backdrop. I think it's backdrop 1. Let's see what we've got for our backdrops. Now we've got a bunch of little backdrops. Let's get rid of these so we're not confused. So it's underwater 2 is what we need to switch to. Underwater 2. Okay, let's try it. Push the space button. Meanwhile. Okay. So when the space button is pushed on this backdrop, we need to say that we want to play a sound besides bubbles. So let's insert another sound. I'm going to upload this sound, and it's called Meanwhile. Put it right here.
Meanwhile.
Okay. We're going to put the code in here that when it's switched, we're going to switch the backdrop, and then we're going to play Meanwhile until done.
Meanwhile.
Great. Okay. So we've got that part of it done. Everything with the space button is done. So after the space button is done, we need to do a broadcast so that we can go to the third part of our game. Who is the third part of our game? Well, that's SpongeBob. Let's bring in SpongeBob. I'm going to pull him in right here. There he is. He's kind of huge. So I'm going to go to costumes and I'm going to select Mr. SpongeBob, and I'm just going to shrink him down like this. Have him stand right here. What code do we need for SpongeBob? Well, we need to say that when the flag is pushed, he needs to just hide. Now, we don't need to do this for the entire game, or else he'll never show up. So we're going to say hide. Nothing happens to him when the spacebar is pushed. We need to have a broadcast. So we'll go back to this stage and we'll say, when the space button is pushed, switch to this backdrop, then play this sound effect. Then we need to do a broadcast. And that broadcast is going to be called let's see where we're at with broadcast. Got to find the right spot for broadcast. There we go. We're going to broadcast a new message, and we're going to call this level 3. Okay. And we're going to say automatically that on this backdrop, when we receive the message level 3, we're going to switch our backdrops. We're going to bring in another background. Let's look and see what we've got in underwater. We'll go with this more cartoony looking one. And so we're going to say when we receive the broadcast level 3, we're going to switch to underwater 1. So let's try it. Always like to go steps to see if everything's working. Push the space bar.
Meanwhile.
And it switches to that. That's good. It played Meanwhile and it switched to that. SpongeBob never showed up, so let's do our coding. It says when the flag is pushed, he's going to hide. But now when he receives the broadcast, level 3, he's going to show. And then the whole time after he's received that, I want him to laugh. So I'm going to put in a forever, and I'm going to pull a sound up on him that I've found called SpongeBob laughing. So until done, we're going to play sound SpongeBob laughing, and then it's going to play it over and over again. It's not going to happen when the flag pushes. It's just going to happen whenever it receives level 3. So let's push space.
Meanwhile.
That's pretty much what it needs to do. If I push stop, play, it goes back to the beginning. So any characters you would have that would be level 3 would be programmed like this. Nothing's supposed to happen to them when the space bar is pushed, just this coding right here. How does that play with your ghost hunting? All your ghosts would come into effect in level 3. Your targeting would come into level 3. Any of your variables would come into effect in level 3. Anyway, I hope that has helped and will help you with your ghost hunting game. I would call this SpongeBob demo, and you will need to turn that in. All right.